Um, welcome to episode 5 uh, of the Fireside Fellas. I'm Isaac. This is
This is
Charlie,
Charlie,
and we are
and
the
we are the
Fireside Fellas.
Fireside Fellas. Yeah, we love that.
Today we are going to be talking about AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Um, she has a big decision ahead of her, which
Yeah.
I think like most people know about. But just in case, any of our viewers don't know, a lot of reporting has been coming out recently that AOC's team is positioning her to run, either for Senate or for the president in
She's
2028
running for one of
presidency.
them, either the
Um,
Senate in 2026 or president in 2028,
right.
or both. And we'll talk about that.
Or both.
Also, I gotta say, like, pardon that voice crack. I should warn viewers that I completely lost my voice at Oktoberfest like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Not come back.
No.
So, everyone's just gonna have to put up with that.
And beyond that, they're also going to have to put up with a weird looking video and lower than normal production quality.
Yeah.
Now, you might be asking yourself, why is that?
Why are we
Why
having so
would
many issues?
something like that happen? Well, it's possible. It's possible that your boy, this fireside fella in particular, may have spilled an entire bottle of water on his computer.
Okay, wait, like how did you not like stop the bleeding?
Dude, because
Like,
I put it in my messenger bag, which by the way got totally soaked and like I low-key had to buy a new one. But I
oh,
put it in my messenger bag. I put my computer in there and then I put my water in there and then I put it on my car seat and then I start driving and then I look to my right and my seat is just like a
oh,
puddle of water, bro.
oh,
Oh, it
oh,
was so
fuck.
bad. It was so fucking
Yeah,
bad.
so that's why our graphics and our production quality is going to be a little bit lower for this episode. We've had, I guess you can call them some technical difficulties. Um, but we're gonna be without the fireplace for this episode of Fireside Fellas, but we're gonna make up for it with a great episode. Um, and with an important topic about one of the country's most important politicians.
Yeah, I would argue probably the most important politician in the Democratic Party right now.
That's honestly an interesting question. She might
I
be.
I think like, she's not the most powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the most like maybe not even the most well known. She might be though. That's a good
She's
question.
got high name recognition. She does
But
have that.
she's got a lot of decisions to make,
Yeah.
all of which will have a really big effect on the party.
Yeah.
I mean, she is sort of the clear, prodigal child of the left-wing democratic socialist movement.
Yeah.
Bernie has sort of just been like, I mean, nurturing her like
Yeah. I
for
mean,
the last few years.
they seem to have
They're
a
close.
relationship. They seem to be friends, or at least have a good like working
They
relationship.
at least make it look like they're friends.
Yeah. And I mean I think importantly, it was AOC who was kind of tagging along with Bernie on this fighting oligarchy tour they
Yeah,
had earlier in the year at the beginning of the Trump presidency.
right.
And
Raising her national platform, by the
raising
way.
her national profile, giving her an opportunity to tour across the country, um, and also giving her the opportunity to kind of get more acquainted with stump speeches, and with kind of like that model um, of politics and that model of speech making, which she hasn't had to do all that often because her
No.
first run for Congress was largely the result of community organizing, a big door knocking operation, a I think a savvy social media use, and since then she's kind of largely relied on social media and on television or podcasts like media appearances, to kind of create her brand. But stump speaking is a totally different skill than that. Speaking to 20,000 people in a stadium, um, kind of working a crowd, uh, coming up with like a tight message and one that's kind of impactful. Um,
Yeah.
and That's the type of politicking that um, presidential campaigns tend to kind of rely on a lot more than any other campaign.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of an interesting little tidbit to think about.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly doing a lot more national stuff than she has in the
Yeah.
past. And you could argue that, the national situation has gotten so serious that, it's basically every House member and senator is more national than they used to. But, you don't see like Adriano Espolita. Fuck, I'm fucking up the name, but you don't see Marjorie Taylor Greene even like
Yeah.
even doing this level of national touring,
Yeah.
and she's like a pretty famous, well-known Republican. So I guess I feel like we should just get right into it. I mean, I'm just gonna start off with what I think. So I'm gonna plug my Substack here.
Go right
Substack
ahead, King.
Crashing the Party, Isaac Rubinstein. It's in the description, whatever. I wrote an article about this. I've been thinking a lot about AOC and a lot about what choice she should make. Because it really matters. Um, I guess before I get into what I think she should do, and that might change by the end of this episode, in which case my article will be outdated. But it matters, and it matters really badly because 2028. I mean, firstly, like let's just say that like I think assuming 2028 is like happening as like an election, like it's
Yeah.
an assumption. I'm not saying it's like not likely. I don't really know, to be honest. Like I have a very hard time figuring out the level to which Trump like truly wants to just like dismantle democracy.
I mean, I
Um,
think that we'll have an election, honestly.
yeah, I think more pressing is like what's the gerrymandering gonna look like? Like what's that kind
Yeah.
of stuff gonna look like? So far, as
Media
of
environment.
now, I'm not horrified by the way that the midterms are shaping up to look like.
Yeah.
Like, obviously Texas is doing their thing, but as we've talked about before on this podcast, that might not actually end up working for them.
Yeah.
And then furthermore, it's going to get offset by California, probably, most likely. Um, but 2028, man, it's going to be a bad one. Like, it could be like a
Yeah.
really important election. I mean, I'm making an assumption here, but I think it's most likely that that's the Republicans nominate Vance. Now,
Yeah.
there's a real argument, and you've made this argument that it could be someone else. I guess it could be Marco
Yeah.
Rubio. It could be, I mean, good. It could be another Trump. Like it could be Donald Trump Jr. It could
Yeah.
be Ivana or Ivanka.
I mean,
Sorry.
I keep saying, look, he has n absolutely no motion. So I'm
Oh
not going to
yeah.
say that it's likely, but I keep saying don't fucking sleep on little Meatball Ronnie
Don't sleep
because
on Meatball Iran.
that dude has extremely high favorables
Yeah,
among the Republican base, and those continue to hold. And it's kind of nobody really outside of that environment kind of thinks about him at all anymore or like sees him as a threat at all anymore. But he got second in the last primary,
yeah,
and he was like the second choice of a lot of Trump voters.
it's
Um,
true.
and a lot of them just kind of saw him as like a more like a more kind of, I don't want to say competent, but maybe like more like technocratic Trump. Um, and
But he doesn't have the same sauce.
no, no. And his favorability ratings indicate that yeah, like, he's
Yeah,
very popular among the party base, but he does not have the sauce.
and
This
he's more
is
popular among the more moderates in the party.
yeah, yeah. Well, and but he's despite his moniker, uh he's sauceless. And like what's a
Just
meatball without
sauceless.
sauce? You know, kind
It's
of
just a
bland,
ball of meat.
kind of tasteful.
Yeah, but he's definitely a real threat. I I guess I'm just thinking like who is Trump going to endorse? Like
Yeah,
whoever Trump endorses is going to get it.
yeah,
I just like obviously he's changed his mind. Like, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz and JD Vance even have all called this guy insane, called him Hitler, whatever, and they just
yeah.
they bow their head and he treats them nicely. But I don't think that Trump personally likes Ron DeSantis. Like
Yeah,
Ron DeSanctimonious. Like
their
even
feud
if
was bad.
their feud was bad. I also just think he kind of looks down upon him. Like
Yeah.
I think Trump was is more like I don't know, like I think Trump respects JD Vance. Like I think he's like that's a bright guy.
Yeah.
Um
He's a young guy, very young guy.
and at the end of the day, look, he's the VP. So he's got
Yeah.
great name recognition. He's good on social media. He's good at talking, to be honest with you.
No, and
Um
he has the it factor,
right.
you
He has
know?
the it factor.
Like I think that kind of the whole like kind of campaign to like smear JD Vance as weird, regardless of if you think he's a weird guy, has kind of led a lot of people in the Democratic Party and a lot of people who like don't pay that much attention to like JD Vance. So you just kind of assume that he's kind of like an awkward, bumbling, like kind of incel guy. But like, no, he's not. He's an extremely charismatic guy. When he has these kind of like long form interviews, these podcast appearances, um, he comes across really well. He comes across as a very empathetic person, which I always find to be kind of like, uh, considering I know his politics and I know that his politics aren't empathetic, I always find that to be very scary.
Yeah.
Um, so I think JD Vance is probably, if I had to guess right now, my favorite for the Republican primary in 2028. And I know that that scares you, as you say on your
Terrifies me.
back article.
Terrifies me. It terrifies me because I'm very scared of Mr. Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
And I think there's a lot of Republicans, far right Republicans, who could build upon the Trump movement.
yeah,
And I think that like people are really terrified of Trump, but like the thing that I really think about a lot is like his chaos is to his benefit and to his detriment.
yeah,
Um, his chaotic White House is like less capable
yeah,
of getting actual things done because of
yeah,
it. It makes it like harder to like fight against him, but it also makes like his actual goals harder to achieve.
yeah,
Vance in particular, I think would just be so capable
yeah,
of
yeah.
running a just a tight, just fucking brutal far right presidency. And for
He's a
those who don't
competent
know,
man.
JD Vance pretty much owes like everything he's ever had in his political career to billionaire Peter Thiel, who owns Palantir and believes that regulating AI is the Antichrist. And when asked by Ross Duteau if it was if it was best that humanity survive, he went, well, I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question, don't you think?
Why did he say that? Like,
Just say yes.
also like I don't really like, regardless of what your politics are, like, why would you not just instinctively think yes to that question? Like, outside of like,
Because he's a
like
ghoul. He's a demon.
you don't want, like, I don't understand like what he could even like be talking about, but whatever.
Yeah.
Neither here nor
He believes in the surveillance state. He just thinks every American should be watched by AI drones and just fucking anything they do, anytime they do anything, whatever. He's a demon. If he, was pulling the strings of a JD Vance presidency, I think that'd be it. Like to me, I think there's real fears that like Trump could fuck with the elections in the next, in the midterms, or say even if whoever the Republican is in 2028 loses.
yeah,
Um, but like if Republicans win again, I think it's basically like guaranteed that
yeah,
that like America's democracy falls into utter disrepair and we sort of lose like genuine free and fair elections. And that doesn't have to be, by the way, like Trump declaring as he's on his way out, like, nope, actually the other guy won, sorry, deal with it. I
yeah,
think it can be something as simple as like changing a voting rule that just like actually undermines the entire system.
yeah. Or like,
Um,
right now, uh, I'm
mhm.
forgetting his name, Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Um, is like kind of keeping the House out of session so that um he doesn't have to swear in a Democrat who just got elected in a special election because she'll provide the 218th vote on like a measure to kind of force the release of the Epstein files. And that type of procedural maneuver is theoretically kind of repeatable um,
Yeah.
after like the 2026 midterms or the 2028 presidential election. That you could see something similar happening.
Yeah. And
It's
that's
what
bad.
January 6th was.
Right.
Yeah,
And Trump didn't have the votes last time, but I can't be so sure he doesn't have them this time. I
yeah,
mean, I just don't know that.
yeah.
And we'll find out, to be honest. But whether or not, that's sort of doom saying. I think, to make it even worse for a moment, like truly the country is cooked if a far right Republican wins again in 2028. If like a Marco Rubio wins in 2028, we might have a different conversation. I don't
Yeah.
think Marco Rubio and that kind of Republican is like ever going to win again, to be honest. Like I think like populist Republican is like what's in right now. Um,
I
but
mean,
we'll see.
I tend to be a little more optimistic about like the state of American democracy, perhaps than you. Just because I kind of believe that like our like 250 whatever year like kind of cultural traditions, um, even outside of like our like literal political institutions, it's kind of hard for me to imagine like when push comes to shove, like actually the end of democracy in this country. Um, but I definitely can imagine, oh, terrible voice crack. Excuse me. I definitely can imagine a kind of like Hungary model
Yeah.
where, the state, like there are elections, but whether or not like they're free and fair, there's kind of some government interference in the media, maybe there's like pretty extreme gerrymandering, kind of things like that to kind of make it a lot more likely and maybe even maybe even make it guaranteed that like Republicans win. But it's hard for me to imagine like the kind of full scale destruction of democracy. Maybe I'm being naive.
No, you might be right. And I think that's more likely. I think it's more likely that we lose free and fair elections rather than lose elections.
Yeah.
Have you seen the clip of Trump and Viktor Orban in the White House? And someone asked Trump a question about like if he still believes the 2020 election was stolen or whatever it was, and he was like, "Stealing elections, you know about that," pointing to Orban. Like, so good. He's just got, oh God.
Why
Um,
are you calling me out like that? Like
yeah.
we're
Anyways, all of this doomsaying is to say, to me, the 2028 election is like utterly vital that
yeah.
Democrats win it. And I am just so of the mind that if Democrats nominate Gavin Newsom or fucking for the record, if Gavin Newsom ran with AOC as his VP, that's a different conversation. I just don't see him making that choice. But I'm throwing it out there. But if it's Gavin Newsom or Pete Buttigieg or JB Pritzker or any of these Swiss cheese neoliberal Democrats, it's over. I mean, the brand is dead. Um, Plugging Charlie's Substack, Charlie just wrote an article about how the neoliberal brand is dead. Uh, and Democrats can't, build walls around them and act like it's not real. And if they nominate, I mean, good God, if they nominate another middle of the road Democrat, it's over. It's absolutely
Yeah,
over.
well, they're just not going to be able to kind of like their ideas don't have like the kind of inspiring power to mobilize
No,
50% of the country behind them. It's kind of as simple as that. I
that's
mean, I
it.
do feel highest about Newsom out of like that all that that list of people just because I think he's a very charismatic figure. I think he's a good politician.
He's the most likely of them
He's
all.
the most likely of them
But
all.
why do that to yourself?
I mean,
Why,
regardless,
yeah,
I think that that brand of Democrat, loses to a kind of populist Republican in
yeah,
2028, even if the Trump presidency goes really poorly. Um,
yeah,
I think that there's just kind of like an ideas and like a vision gap between like the two groups. They're just extremely favors
right.
the populist right, even if even if that vision is kind of like kind of backwards and closed-minded and exclusionary, uh, you have a little bit of like a something beats nothing type of situation here.
Exactly.
Um, and also that vision is attractive to a lot of the country. I mean, I think a lot of the country sees it in kind of a maybe perverse way to like how Democrats would see it, but as a bit of a communal vision. And that's necessary for Democrats to replicate right now. And I think a figure who would theoretically be able to replicate that would be AOC or an AOC type of figure on the left. Um, I think that as kind of leading up to your argument, I think that she would be well positioned for the type of movement politics that is probably required to win in 2028.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about what are the Democratic Party is so goddamn unpopular right
Yeah.
now. But there are popular figures within the party, and there's people who are like making noise. Who are those people? It's Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, obviously.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, like everyone loves them.
everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like let's nominate Chuck Schumer to the presidency.
Yeah.
No, it's Zohran Mamdani, it's Graham Plattner,
Mhm.
uh, and God, help me out here. There's one more. There's one more big one. I don't know.
I
Whatever. They're around.
mean, there's AOC.
Oh, there's AOC. Oh, right, right. There's a recent poll came out, asking Democratic voters who do they see more as the face of the party? Pelosi, Schumer, and Jeffries, or AOC and Bernie Sanders. And the majority said AOC and Bernie Sanders. It's just clear. It's clear that this is where the party is moving.
Yeah.
I've said this a million times. Zohran Mamdani performs best with independent voters and Republican voters of any Democrat who was running in the New York City mayoral election. This is a brand of democratic politics that works. It's a brand of democratic politics that has worked in the past in the FDR times that, because of
That our
things like
podcast is kind
Citizens
of named
United, we
after.
lost. That our podcast is
Yeah.
quite literally named after.
But most
Um,
importantly, like it's the direction in which the kind of like political and cultural attitudes of the country is moving. Politics is not just about replicating, what worked 4 years ago or, 8 years ago or whatever. Politics is not something it's something that kind of requires you to read the tea leaves and to kind
yeah,
of see which direction the country is moving and see and read how the country is persuadable. Something might be kind of the kind of two wings of the Democratic Party might be on equal footing right now, in terms of, power and influence. But I mean, I think that's contestable. I think the left's probably on better footing right now. But regardless, um, you need to be able to kind of do some real political and cultural analysis and figure out which direction the party is moving. Um, that's the kind of deeper stuff that we do on our Substacks, just, for shout out. But um, kind of like uh TLDR is the country is moving in this type of populist left
yeah.
direction and this type of more kind of um
Or populist right. It's
yes,
moving in a
yeah,
populist direction.
populist direction. Yes.
And so you can either fight it like we've done with
Yeah.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Hillary
Yeah, try
Clinton.
to salvage the kind of remnants of like the Obama age,
Right.
the Clinton age.
And for the record, the establishment's best chance of that is Gavin Newsom
Yeah.
because he sort of, kind of straddles the line a little bit. He gives you a little droplet of populism, and then he's like, it's enough.
Every now and then, like
Um,
every now he'll say the right things, he'll do some like pro-labor stuff,
And
everyone
then
like
he'll kick 1,000 homeless people out of a shelter.
yeah,
And it's like, all right, man, like come on. Um so I and by the way, to make this clear, like the reason why so based off of our argument so far, it's like, wait, obviously AOC's run for the president. If you have an equal shot at running for both of these things, run for president. Here's the deal. Here's why it's like a harder decision to make is that there's no guarantee she's going to win. I think
no,
she has the single best shot of anyone on the left, anyone
yeah,
on the left.
at least as
Um,
of right now.
but it's going to be an uphill climb. I
Yeah.
mean, there's going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of candidates I think there's going to be a
I think
lot of
it's gonna be
candidates.
like 2020. I think
I think it's going to be like
like
2020.
20 people
Everyone's
need
just
to
going to
run.
want it. Everyone's going to
Everyone's
want
gonna
it.
run.
There's going to be a lot of money. Oh my
Yep.
God, there's going to be a lot of money. Holy shit, there's going to be so much money. Um, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be
Yeah.
really hard for her to, I mean, not to mention she's like, like a Latina woman. Like I don't know, like I believe a woman can win in America, and I know a lot of people don't. I
Yeah.
just happen to think it's that like we've nominated the two worst, like
Yeah.
the two worst
Just
women in
two
politics.
horrible politicians. Yep.
Um, but I think it's possible, but like it will affect it. Like it will have a effect on the entire thing. And so the question is, um, can she win? And I think she can, but it will be an uphill climb.
Yeah.
Now, the Senate seat, on the other hand, it's like she'd win it. Like it's not even a,
It's kind of guaranteed.
it's a guarantee. She's so
Will win
popular in New
that.
York.
She will win that if she runs for it. She'll easily beat Schumer. It's gonna be
And
pretty.
even if he doesn't run, she's gonna win. She's
Yeah.
just such a juggernaut in New York
Yeah.
City politics.
I mean,
She'll win,
she'll
no matter
beat
what.
out like, I mean, who like Tom Suozzi, like who would the fucking moderate like candidate be? Like, regardless, she would beat. I think she would.
Slotkin.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, well, for the Senate.
What if she ran for Senate?
For Slotkin's in Michigan.
Never mind.
You talking about someone else? Yeah.
I was talking about someone else. I was thinking about something else, but actually that person's a Republican, so never mind.
Okay.
Pretty
But
that bad.
but I
See,
was
that's something I'd edit out if I had my production my production abilities of a normal episode. But the viewers get to hear that mistake this time.
but we regard we her running for Senate is kind of a done deal. And
Yeah.
I kind of I kind of personally think she should run for Senate. Um I'm not necessarily against the idea of her running for the presidency, but I think that regardless of whether or not she runs for the presidency, she might as well run for Senate. Oh wait, they're the same year.
Yeah.
It's 2020. She can't. It's
I
2020,
mean,
2028.
yeah, there's no Senate seat up in 2026.
I was kind of thinking, yeah, she can't do that.
She can't do that. Now the question is, could she somehow both run for senator and president in 2028? But I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
I don't think you can do that. No.
And also,
Yeah.
like, that'd be like that would irk New York
That's
City
bad
voters.
vibes. That's
That's
bad
just
vibes.
bad vibes. Even if
Yeah,
you
that's
could
bad
do it, which I'm
vibes.
pretty sure you can't,
No,
that's just bad
you can't
vibes.
do that. You can't do that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess like I mean, I want the best left candidate possible to run in
yeah.
2028. And I think that AOC is a very good one, but I guess I don't know. Like, am I willing to take the what's probably a small chance that she herself wins the 2028 primary? Um, or maybe not even small chance, but willing to take the chance that
Yeah.
she might win it for the sake of like a guaranteed Senate seat that I think sets her up really, really well for a future run because she is someone that I think I would like to see as president, at least as of now.
And becoming a
Uh,
senator would really get put her on a good path.
it would put her on a
It'd
good
help her
path.
work on those kind of stump speeches, those kinds of things. I just are we in the position where we can like hope that
Yeah.
things will be okay in time for her to run? Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
you make a very good point in your article where you say that it's very important to have kind of like a loud and
Yeah.
persuasive voice on the left in the primary for the sake of like the entire party's kind of ideological approach and the kind of adjusting the entire field like how in 2020 having Bernie in the primary kind of shifted the entire field to the left
Yeah.
uh, in a way that ended up making Joe Biden, I think, kind of more electable and also an actually like better president. I mean,
Yeah.
for everything I hate about Joe Biden.
Like
Um,
go Joe Biden.
but AOC would be a very kind of powerful and like very kind of persuasive and impactful voice to have in the primary. And regardless of whether or not she wins, that would be extremely like important for kind of the party writ large. But that
Yeah.
being said, like I think that there's other strong voices on the left that are going to run. Ro Khanna is definitely going to run. And I think the only reason there isn't more hype around him right now is just because he doesn't have a big enough national platform.
Hmm.
But running for presidency kind of instantly catapults you and instantly gives you a
It's
national
true.
platform.
It's
And
true.
he is a very kind of persuasive speaker. And I think that his kind of the way in which he thinks and his kind of like approach to politics and policy is kind of well tuned to this moment. It's both very left, but it's also kind of very focused on like, you know, America as kind of like a national place and not like leaving behind our, like kind of like forgotten places in, the
Hmm.
industrial Midwest or, kind of not like kind of giving in to like I don't know, this isn't a great way to put it, but like giving into the hype around like the kind of like progressive power centers of like the cities. Like his politics and the way in which he thinks about politics is extremely national. And
Yeah.
it's kind of I think that and it's very kind of focused on like the country as a national community. And I think that that does extremely well and that would do extremely well in the primary. So I feel good about him. What other left figures could run in 28?
Well, I don't think there are any other left figures as left as AOC who could run.
No.
But I think you could argue Chris Murphy of Connecticut. I think you could argue Tim
Yeah, he's
Walz.
interesting. He's kind of like
Yeah, he's there. I mean,
kind of there.
he clearly hates neoliberalism. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that Chris Murphy's on the record of.
He's a much
T
more
yeah,
he's a much kind of more interesting thinker than he's given credit for.
Tim Walz is a name.
Yeah, you think he's
Um,
kind of like you think his career's kind of dead though
After
after the
that debate with
war.
Vance.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It depends how much he separates himself. If he says I got muzzled by the Kamala Harris campaign, then
And
he's probably fine.
He
Yeah,
did. I kind
obviously.
of
We
think
all saw it with our own eyes.
yeah, like I kind of think that if he was on the top of the ticket, he would have ran a much better campaign
I think that's
than he
right.
ultimately did as VP.
I mean, this is a crazy idea, but Graham Plattner is running for senator in 2026. So you could
We've
say
seen crazier
maybe
things.
he could be senator for a year and declare for
That's what
2028.
Obama did.
1 year, huh?
Yeah, like yeah, I mean,
He could do it. I mean,
yeah.
look, he's like Graham Plattner. Like, okay, I don't want this just to become a Graham Plattner
Wait, was
glazing
it one
session.
year or was it one term?
I
Whatever.
feel like it was
Obama did
more than one
something.
year. Graham Plattner is like exactly what the Democratic Party needs right now. Like
Yeah.
exactly. Like if you could, like he's just like I'm sorry, but he's just a white dude. He's just like a dude, but he's got incredible politics. He's like
Yeah, he's got incredible
literally
politics.
exactly what the party needs.
Yeah.
Um,
They've needed a little bit of an injection of just like straight dudism,
yeah.
you know?
Which does not have to and should not dominate the party, but it has to
No, no.
exist. It
But it
has
has
to
to
be there
exist.
somewhere.
Like it's not that like the party needs to run like a white guy, but the party needs like a kind of like dude wing. Like
Yeah.
it needs to like there needs to be some figures kind of associated with like there needs to be some figures like Graham Plattner in the party because right now, like, really, there's kind of none.
We need some jacked guys running for
Yeah,
office as
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Democrats.
No, no, we need some
Um,
dudes who are huge, huge. Dude is big. Dude is giant. I mean, when
he's a big guy.
I want to look like that when I'm his age.
I want to look like that when I
Seriously,
run for office. I want to look
I
like
want
that
to
at
look
my
like that
age.
right now.
Yeah,
Like,
actually. Um, okay, taking a little bit of a pause because I'm not signed into my Zoom because I'm using someone else's computer. We're running out of our free period of this Zoom because this is a free account. So what I'm going to do is pause us for a moment so I can make a new Zoom and invite you to it, and we'll get going. Be right back, folks.
wait, hold
And
on.
we're back. Seamless. Seamless. It's like we were never gone. Um, Graham Plattner, that kind of vibe is exactly what the party needs. You can't
Yeah,
guarantee he's going to run then. You're right that Ro Khanna could win, and or could run. And
Yeah.
there
He's running,
exist. You think he's running? Yeah, he's probably running.
guaranteed.
He's running. There exist perhaps a few other Democrats who could maybe be that voice of the left,
There's
but
also
they're
always
not.
a dark horse. There's
It's
always a
true.
dark horse candidate.
There's always a dark horse candidate.
I mean, the dark horse candidates are sometimes like Obama was a dark horse
It's
candidate.
true.
Trump was a dark horse candidate.
I'll
Like,
just say that like none of those people and that dark horse candidate like have the machine and the name recognition and the
no,
starting off point that AOC will have. Like
no.
someone else could do it. Someone else could fill that void, but she has the easiest chance. Like
And she has bundles of money.
she has a maybe the most, I think she has the single greatest grassroots fundraising machine in the entire
She
country.
might. I mean, it's her or Bernie. Like, I mean, Bernie still raises boatloads of money. But like,
Um, yeah,
but also like low key, all of Bernie's money would go towards her.
exactly.
Like,
I mean, she'd have a
like
lot of money.
she would start off the 2028 campaign with kind of like a ready-made political operation, um, and
Yeah.
kind of deep pockets just as a result of
Which, by
like
the way, I think she's
where
already
she,
doing. I think she's already stockpiling money.
yeah.
Um,
One of these campaigns, whether or not it's the Senate or the
yeah.
presidency.
And so you're right that like it doesn't have to be her, but if we're thinking about it from a like Democrats like someone on the left like has to win, like a left populist has to win, she's
Yeah.
clearly got the easiest path to victory.
Yeah.
And so the
When is,
question is, does that
when is
outweigh a?
Gillibrand?
Hmm?
When is Gillibrand up for
I
reelection?
was just wondering about that. I don't know. I do.
She kind of sucks. Like
She's terrible.
she could get primary.
She
Hold on.
could get primaried, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it's
Um,
2030.
yeah, I thought it was pretty recent.
2030 is when she's up.
I think we're stuck with her for some time.
No,
Um,
but that does mean that even if she were to run for president in 2028, she could in the next midterm have an opportunity for a primary race against Gillibrand. And Gillibrand's sneaky old.
she's
She's
sneaky old and also not sneaky, not very popular. Like
Yeah, she's kind of like
AOC would
ruined
win
her
that too.
political brand a little bit.
I
Like
mean, AOC is just such like the thing that I really am trying to get across right now is like she's a juggernaut. Like she is
yeah,
a there are not many politicians as popular and well known as she is.
yeah.
There's Trump, there's JD Vance, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and that's about it. Like
I mean, Joe Biden, don't throw Joe Biden in that
people
list.
know his name. I mean, people know Joe
Oh, you're
Biden's
saying
name.
name recognition.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
No, no, no. I'm
Also,
saying Joe Biden 2028. That's what I'm. What are you talking about? What are you
he's gonna
talking
be
about?
alive.
Yeah. Oh, is he gonna be alive? He's gonna look great.
Yeah.
You kidding me? He's outliving both of us, brother.
Well, also like here's the other thing to mention outside of name recognition. Because honestly, like this kind of I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough. Um, when people talk about her, people kind of assume that because she's a figure on the left, like she's automatically like just kind of super unpopular. But um her favorability is real her favorability marks are very high
It's really good.
relative to kind of like what a normal politician's favorability is. Um, so it's not just that her name recognition is good, it's that her favorability is also pretty strong. Um, and Democrats have very few candidates that are going to start in 2028 with name recognition and high favorability ratings. Very few.
In particular, that one. I mean,
Yeah.
there aren't really many politicians with even a positive favorability rating. I
No.
mean, look, every poll is different. Some of them Bernie, some of them AOC, most of them Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Um, I saw one poll where the only two politicians who had a higher favorability rating than AOC were Obama and the other Obama, both
Yeah.
Obamas.
Yeah.
Michelle's not even a politician, so I don't really know why she was included. But
You know my Michelle take.
I?
I think we talked about it at the beach one time or something. I don't know.
Are
My
you
Michelle,
allowed to talk about it on the podcast?
yeah, I mean, no, my Michelle
Okay.
take is just that like this all could have been avoided if she just like decided she wanted to be a politician.
It's true. She
Yeah.
wouldn't have been, yes,
She would have
it's
won in
true.
2020.
She would have won in 2020. She
And then
would have won in
probably again in
2016.
2024. She could have won in 2016. I mean,
Um,
it's shocking how popular Michelle Obama is.
she's
It's
very popular.
shocking. I mean,
I don't really know why.
she's catnip for independence. I she's like catnip. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like they kind of like they like get on their back and like kind of roll around. Like it's unbelievable how popular she is. Um, so I mean, I mean that my Michelle Obama thing is basically that, I mean, she low key had a duty to this country. And I understand why she didn't want to be president after 8 years of being like first lady, but
Yeah.
this all could have been avoided.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was
Yeah.
pretty seriously on the record as
Yeah, she's
not
pretty
wanting to
young.
be in
Yeah,
politics
yeah.
ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the day, like I don't want someone to run for office if they're not doing it because they actually really want to do it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm also not convinced that like Michelle Obama would have stopped the like alt-right movement. Like I
No.
don't like she's popular, but I think she would have been more of the same. Like Joe Biden was
Also,
popular when he
yeah, I mean,
won.
also, you shouldn't get too wrapped up in favorabilities because favorabilities change.
Yeah.
Her ratings are very high right now, but potentially over the course of a campaign,
They're
it
also
goes.
very high because she's not a politician.
Yeah,
People think about her differently in the same way
yeah.
that, Trump's cabinet members might have a higher favorability rating than him. I don't know if they do, but, or I mean, they are politicians. I don't mean as cabinet members. Caroline Levitt. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Caroline, what's Caroline Levitt's favorability?
I don't know. Has anyone polled that?
Yeah,
We should
yeah.
we should get someone on that. Um, yeah, I also just think like we're gonna talk about like we have to talk about this. Like AOC is just good on camera. And
Yeah,
it's she's
she's
good
low
on
key bad.
yeah, I mean, look,
Let's
that's what
not
we're
mince words.
let's not I mean, look, I use the word photogenic in my article. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna continue to use the word photogenic.
it's
But
im
we
it's
all
important.
but it's important. And this isn't I swear this isn't like two dudes being like, "Oh, whoa." Like no, it's actually
No,
important. Like
it's
Gavin
actually
Newsom
important.
isn't Gavin Newsom if he doesn't look like a silver fox,
If it
you
doesn't look
know?
like that. Or
And
like
people had the
think
hots for
about
Obama,
JFK. Yeah, Obama,
JFK,
like
young
there
Joe
are thoughts.
Biden. Yo, have you not seen young Joe
Oh,
Biden?
you said young?
I
Oh,
said young Joe
I
Biden.
mean,
Bro,
I
you
think
gotta stop misunderstanding me about Joe Biden, bro.
dude, I just hear Joe Biden and it's like
And you're like,
it's just like it's just a visceral reaction. Um,
no. I mean, look, she looks good. She's good on camera. People
yeah,
like her. People like hot people. People like good-looking politicians. It's
people
just the
like
case.
hot
And
politicians.
she's young.
People like hot politicians, and this is something that we should learn, and this is something that we should take advantage of.
It's absolutely something we
It's
would be
something that.
remiss not to take advantage of.
What are the advantages of her running for Senate? We should talk about that as maybe our
It's
last.
guaranteed. She's gonna win.
Well, it's maybe our last segment of this episode.
Yeah.
Well, but like just her winning isn't necessarily a great advantage. Like as a senator, what does she have that she doesn't have as a member of the House?
More of a national platform. The Senate is smaller, so her vote literally counts for more.
Yeah.
It will give her the opportunity to uh, talk more in front of cameras, have a larger staff, have more money. Um, there are real benefits to being a senator. It makes it easier. It gives her more credibility to run later. But she kind of has enough credibility already because of how popular she is.
Yeah.
Um,
Just how like, everyone knows where she
yeah, I
stands.
gotta say I'm very firm on her running for president, I think. Like it's so clearly true that it's safer to run for senator.
Here's what I
And
worry about a little bit about her
yeah.
running for president, and a potential reason why I think the Senate could be good for her.
Hmm.
'Cause I think the Senate doesn't only provide her with a bigger platform, both by virtue of just being a senator and by virtue of being one of 100 versus one of 435. But I think that she could be very harmed in a national election by her kind of association with like the kind of like woke left of the late 2010s and of the early 20, the kind of very early 2020s. Um,
Hmm.
that style of politics and that brand of politics and those ideas are extremely unpopular. And she was kind of at the forefront of that. And I
Oh,
think that
you think so?
yeah, I definitely do.
Don't you feel like that was more of a like, don't you think the woke stuff was kind of more like middle ground Democrats? More of the
Well, I
like,
think the middle
Pelosi's
ground,
sort of doing that kneel thing. Remember that terrible thing where all the
I
Democrats
mean,
got taken a photo?
I definitely do think that I think that kind of middle of the road Democrats kind of used it as a way to like pander to the base and as a way
Yeah.
to kind of like make themselves appear more progressive than they actually are. But I still think that the progressives of that time, with Loki kind of the sole exception of Bernie, who kind of just continued with a strictly economic
Just
message.
just couldn't stop
Um,
being the goat.
he just couldn't stop. He couldn't. He can't change. I mean, he's incapable of changing. Um, but. So I got a little amped up there.
No, he
Um,
deserves it.
yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was kind of,
It's a good
on the
point.
record. She was kind of on the record about being in favor of, defund the police in 2020. Um,
So is
she
Mamdani. Not
so
stopping him.
I know, and Mamdani has kind of successfully distanced himself from those remarks. But running for mayor of New York City and running for president are two very different things.
It's true.
And Um, and also, she was just kind of at like the forefront of that kind of like style and even like that idea of like identity politics. Um, that ended up really hurting the Democratic brand and also just being kind of ineffective in terms of, you know, like as a political strategy or as like a means of policy. So, um,
It's a good point.
I mean, I would say I think that going to the Senate gives her a little bit more time to kind of like rebrand and kind of not even rebrand because honestly it's who she is, but kind of burnish more of like her economic populist credentials
Mm.
um rather than and kind of like associate herself more with like those ideas and associate herself more with that style of politics. Um, and I think that time would be extremely helpful for her for a future presidential campaign.
It's a
And
great
would set
point.
her up really well because it would give her more of an opportunity to kind of be associated as more of like an economics oriented candidate rather than like an identity politics or, kind of like defund the police style candidate, even if that's kind of unfair to her. She's always been very economics focused.
I think that's a good point, and I agree with it in principle.
Yeah.
I don't I'm not there in 2028.
Yeah.
Like I'm there in 2024. I'm there even in 2026. But
Yeah.
2028, God, I just think it's so important. Um, and also like you're right that she's not the only left populist who can run, but I think she's the only left populist who can like sway the party. Like Ro
Mhm.
Khanna might run, and he might have a shot at winning. I don't know. But if all those Democrats are on the stage being neoliberals and Ro Khanna's like, you guys are all being ridiculous, we have to be populist, they're gonna be like, bug off, who are you? And if AOC's doing it, if AOC's over there, like you're all like wrong, and like here is
Yeah.
this message that like is supported by like millions of people who love me, it's just a more powerful message. She's just like she's less. I mean, Schumer is
Yeah.
terrified of her. Like that's clear.
Yeah.
He's very scared of her.
I mean, he's
Um,
gonna run again if she runs.
He's not going to run again. Is that what you said?
No, if she
I think
runs for
that's
something
correct.
in 28, he's done.
No,
I
yeah,
think
he's going to
that
get beaten awfully. It's going to be disgusting.
he doesn't want the embarrassment, and also he's old. Like he doesn't want to
He
end his
shouldn't run
career.
either way, to be
He
honest, because
shouldn't
of
run,
how
but
old
like
he is.
he doesn't want to end his career as like kind of like the leader of the party who like loses in a primary. Like that's kind
It's
of
true.
like that's bad vibes. Like
It's terrible vibes.
yeah.
Um, so in that way, I think she should run.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, and I think everything you're saying is right. I think whether she chooses to run for Senate or chooses to run for the presidency is how she analyzes the seriousness of 2028 as an election.
Yeah.
If she thinks, and let's just say if it's true that 2028 happens and Republicans win and we lose free and fair elections, she should run in 2028.
Yeah.
And if that's not true, she doesn't have to.
I mean, I think it's important to kind of see what other candidates jump in the race. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's a great point.
if some kind of dark horse candidate who, appears to be strong, or some like strong left-wing candidate that kind of we aren't thinking about, or that kind of like bursts on the scene, um, I don't know, a little bit like kind of builds a profile like over the next couple years, runs, it changes the equation a little bit. But I do ultimately think I agree with your point that as far as the candidates of the left go, she probably has to run because um she's currently the most effective of them all. But I think that she needs to like kind of lean into the economic populist message that was on full display in her speech at the, 2024 DNC, and that was on full display during her speech at the Fighting Oligarchy tour. I think she needs to kind of she needs to kind of read the tea leaves of the American electorate as well
Yeah.
and kind of become a little bit more of like a Bernie-esque candidate. Um, and to see kind of some real success in 28.
Yeah, and in that way, I kind of I'm apparently her and Mamdani started off a little rocky, and they've becoming
Their relationship, really?
yeah, and
I
apparently
didn't
they've
know
been
this.
becoming more close recently. Yeah, I think she was just like a little nervous about him or something, from what I read.
Yeah.
Um, but apparently they've been becoming more close recently, and I hope she takes some. I hope she really looks at what he did in this
Yeah.
election and what has really energized New York in a way New York has not been energized in a long time.
Yeah.
Um, I think, yeah, for me, it just hinges so heavily on 2028 and it hinges on her being the best voice the left has right now.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm very curious to see how this goes out. The
Yep.
dark horse
Yep. Okay.
candidates. I mean, like the dark horse candidates are a real thing, you know. I mean,
I
Stephen
mean, there
A.
will be
sure
some
looks
that
like
enter
he's
the
running for
cave.
president.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, it really looks like he's positioning himself. And the more he talks about politics, the worse it gets. I mean, good God, he's been saying some insane things
I don't
recently.
worry about Stephen A.
Um,
That dude, he
I
doesn't.
still think LeBron James should run. I think he should run as an economic populist, and I think he'll win. I still believe that. I genuinely think he'd crush. Like I genuinely, I'm sorry. Like who would get the white
Who's
boys
beating
out
LeBron?
more than LeBron
Who's
James?
beating LeBron?
Who's beating
Come
LeBron
on.
James? I've
No,
been
seriously,
saying this.
Democrats need a solution for like losing 18 to 29-year-old white men. I mean,
Maybe elect the king.
un
Like
like maybe the king.
maybe we actually do need a king in America. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, that's
Fucking
so
like,
funny.
we should sort of draft LeBron movement.
That's so fucking funny.
Wait, like there's been all
Um,
this stuff about like the decision 2.0 with like
it turns out it was just a fucking liquor ad.
whatever stupidly, yeah, whatever stupid like read. This is the real decision 2.0.
I know. Decision three. And it's like, I'm running.
Decision 3. Yeah.
I low-key can't believe he did that, man. Like, that's so lame. That's so lame. You know what? Loki, fuck him. He shouldn't run for
All to
office.
sell a little Hennessy.
It's unbelievable. Is it the La Hennessy?
I mean, I think it's the Hennessy. Is it? Look it
So
up.
fun. Yeah, it is. So funny. For the record, like I'm totally gonna buy it. I'm just like, come on, man.
I mean,
Uh, all right.
I
That's all.
want to
That's
drink my glorious king's beverage.
I do. I mean, especially if he had a hand in making it. I think that that's all I have on this one. How about you?
Yeah, I think so too.
All
I
right.
mean, sure, I'm gonna have some more thoughts, like
Yeah.
second this episode ends, but too bad, you know.
Yeah, I also think more reporting is going to come out about this, so we'll find out. And we can do a part two on this. But it's really tough. It's a really difficult decision for her to make.
Yeah,
And to be honest with you, either way, I understand why she's making that decision. I just think she
yeah.
should run for president. Um, I've been Isaac.
I've been Charlie.
This, and we
Been
have
the Fireside
been
Fellows.
we have been the Fireside Fellas. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah,
Check
past
out
tense.
our Substacks and
Mhm.
Spotify and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok in the description,
Yep,
wherever you listen. We are everywhere. We are on all platforms, YouTube
yep.
and all podcast platforms. We do clips.
Argue with us in the comments.
Please, we love it. We
We
love it.
love it when y'all argue with us in the comments, and we will argue back.
And get mean, because we can handle it.
Yeah, don't worry. We're big boys.
Yeah, we're strong. We're strong
Yeah.
dudes. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Love y'all.